Here's a fun one. First of all, Ron, let's start a punk band. You know what? If you're in the Los Angeles area, I'd freaking love that. I'll be honest with you, though. I'm not a very good player. I am average at best, but I'd love to jam. Here's a fun one for us, Lee. Any tips for my first open mic night? Lee, I'll let you go first.
Oh God, just know that whatever happens, it'll be garbage. And, if you get the words out of your mouth and they sound like sentences, then chalk it up as a win. Because I think every comedian has to suck for a couple like there's a time period where you're just kind of bad, but the opening year you're supposed to suck hard. So just be prepared for that. I feel like no one gave me that advice, and I feel like if I hadn't gotten 5 chuckles in my first time on stage, I probably would have quit there and then. And I think the key is to just keep at it.
Do you remember your first time on stage?
Yeah. It was my 18th birthday or around there, and I did an open mic. It was actually at Matt's Pub and Comedy Club, which went out of business, but it was the upstairs, which was just a pub, and they had an open mic, but it was mostly musicians. So it was like the audience was like 7 redneck drunks who didn't understand why I kept talking and didn't play the guitar. So.
Where's this guitar? Dude, my first time doing comedy wasn't even at an open mic. It was when I was like just out of college. And actually where I went to college, I went to Indiana University. There is a full-time comedy club now. But when I was there, the club was not in existence yet. So there wasn't really much of a comedy scene, but there was this one-nighter show that happened. And I finagled a guest set because a guest set, for anyone not in the know, that's when you kind of just go up and do 5 minutes and you're just kind of a comedian that was added last minute to the show typically. And there was a stand-up comedy club on campus. So I joined it, and through that you were able to like contact the agency that could get you a guest set. So I got a guest set, and I bombed so royally. It was ridiculous. I had no clue what I was doing. I didn't know how to write a joke. I actually didn't even realize you were supposed to do that. I thought you were just supposed to riff. Like, I didn't know you were actually supposed to. I was one of those people, man. I was clueless about comedy until I started doing it. Like, a lot of people, like, they knew a lot about. I knew nothing about comedy.
Oh, yeah, I'd read all the books, I think.
Oh, dude, not me. I was the total opposite. I was just like a big punk rock dude that was a big news junkie and really hated George W. Bush and wanted to like be on the radio or something, and thought that stand-up was just another vehicle to that, which I guess in a way, it totally is. But I just sort of fell into it because of that. And I remember when I first started, and other comics would be like, "So who's your favorite comedian?" I had no clue. I mean, the only comedians I knew of was George Carlin and Bill Hicks. And I kind of thought they were something else entirely. So I didn't even think that was an acceptable answer. Like, I thought that was being like, that'd be like, who's your favorite band? Oh, the Beatles. So I was like, well, I can't give that as an answer. So I would say Henry Rollins or Jello Biafra just because I had no answer. And I wanted to try to sound like I knew what I was talking about.
That's amazing. Yeah, the other weird thing was in the first 6 months, and this was not because I was good. I still was doing one open mic a week, just sucking. You're doing 5 minutes or whatever. And I got on the college activities board because I knew that way I would get to meet the bigger name comedians. And so I'm on the college activity board, and then we bring Jimmy Fallon to the school. He'd only been at SNL like 2 years. I mean, he was already a success at SNL, but not for long. And he comes, and so I just, I would love to open for these guys, but I don't know how you end up opening for these. So I just said to him, like, hey, I'm looking for the show. I'm a comic too. And he goes, oh, great. You want to open? And I was like, yeah. So
how'd it go?
So within like the first 6 months, I opened for Fallon, and it went pretty well because college kids, and you're making college jokes, and I'm making fun of, probably something that was going on at the college. So it went great, but it wasn't because I was good. It was just kind of luck.
I feel you, man. I had those moments too, because it eventually led to something like that too, where I got to open up for Upright Citizens Brigade, And I did okay just because I talked about stuff that was going on campus.
Right. You're like, how about Mr. Jeffries? What a pedophile. Yeah. And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy's amazing.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. That was a clip from Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means I log on to a stream and people tweet me articles over on Twitter at Ron Placone, or they use our Reddit subsection, which is just Get Your News On with Ron over on Reddit. And that's how we build the show. I'm seeing all these articles for the first time. We are literally getting our news on together. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone so you can participate. And this show streams live every Tuesday through Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please do tune in. If you want to support this show, you can do so over on patreon.com/Ron Placone, where for as low as $1 a month, you get access to exclusive podcasts every week, exclusive videos, free tickets to shows when I'm performing in your town, and more for as low as $1 a month. Please do consider it. Thank you so much for your support. This has been Get Your News On with Ron.